Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 12, Maharaj Dhruva Maharaja goes back to Godhead. Takes 31 and 32. 31 doesn't have a purport, so I will just read it through and then we will recite together the verse 32. Tada dundubhayo nedur mrdanga-panavadayah gandharva-mukhyah prajaguh petuh kusuma-vrstayah. Tada dundubhayo nedur mrdanga-panavadayah gandharva-mukhyah prajaguh petuh kusuma-vrstayah. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. At that time, drums and kettledrums resounded from the sky. The chief Gandharvas began to sing, and other demigods showered flowers like torrents of rain upon Dhruva Maharaja. Text 32. Saha cha svarlokam aroksyan sunitim jananim dhruvah anvasmarad agam dinam yasye tri-vistapam Sacha svarlokam aroksyan Sacha svarlokam aroksyan Sunitim jananim dhruvah anvasmarad agam dinam yasye tri-vistapam dinam yasye tri-vistapam sacha svarlokam aroksyan sunitim jananim dhruvah anvasmarad agam dinam yasye tri-vistapam swacha svarlokam aroksyan sunitim jananim dhruvah anvasmarad agam dinam yasye tri-vistapam sacha svarlokam aroksyan sunitim jananim dhruvah anvasmarad agam dinam yasye tri-vistapam sacha svarlokam aroksyan sunitim jananim dhruvah anvasmarad agam dinam yasye tri-vistapam sacha svarlokam aroksyan sunitim jananim dhruvah anvasmarad agam dinam yasye tri-vistapam sacha svarlokam aroksyan sunitim jananim dhruvah anvasmarad agam agam anvasmarad dinam yasye tri-vistapam
sacha svarlokam aroksyan sunitim jananim dhruvah anvasmarad agam dinam yasye tri-vistapam
sacha svarlokam aroksyan
sunitim jananim dhruvah
anvasmarad agam dinam yasye tri-vistapam
Mataji's
sacha svarlokam aroksyan sunitim jananim dhruvah anvasmarad agam dinam yasye tri-vistapam
Sa, he, cha, also, svarlokam, to the celestial planet, aroksyan, about to ascend, sunitim, suniti, jananim, mother, dhruvah, Dhruva Maharaja, anvasmarad, immediately remembered, agam, difficult to attain, hitva, leaving behind, dinam, poor, yasye, I shall go, tri-vistapam, to the Vaikuntha planet. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Dhruva was seated in the transcendental airplane, which was just about to start. When he remembered his poor mother, Suniti, he thought to himself, how shall I go alone to the Vaikuntha planet and leave behind my poor mother? Please repeat after me. Dhruva was seated in the transcendental airplane, which was just about to start. When he remembered his poor mother, Suniti, he thought to himself, how shall I go alone to the Vaikuntha planet and leave behind my poor mother? Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Dhruva Maharaja had a feeling of obligation to his mother, Suniti. It was Suniti who had given him the clue which had now enabled him to be personally carried to the Vaikuntha planet by the associates of Lord Vishnu. He now remembered her and wanted to take her with him. Actually, Dhruva Maharaja's mother, Suniti, was his Path Pradarshak Guru. Path Pradarshak Guru means the Guru or the spiritual master who shows the way. Such a Guru is sometimes called Shiksha Guru. Although Narad Muni was his Diksha Guru, initiating spiritual master, Suniti, his mother, was the first who gave him instruction on how to achieve the favor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is the duty of the Shiksha Guru or Diksha Guru to instruct the disciple in the right way and depend on the disciple to execute the process. According to Shastric injunctions, there is no difference between Shiksha Guru and Diksha Guru, and generally the Shiksha Guru later becomes the Diksha Guru. Suniti, however, being a woman and specifically his mother, could not become Dhruva Maharaja's Diksha Guru. Still, he was not less obliged to Suniti. There was no question of carrying Narad Muni to Vaikuntha Loka, but Dhruva Maharaj thought of his mother. Whatever plan the Supreme Personality of Godhead contemplates immediately fructifies. Similarly, a devotee who is completely dependent on the Supreme Lord can also fulfill his wishes by the grace of the Lord. The Lord fulfills his wishes independently, but a devotee fulfills his wishes simply by being dependent on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, as soon as Dhruva Maharaj thought of his poor mother, he was assured by the associates of Vaikuntha, the associates of Vishnu, that Suniti was also going to Vaikuntha Loka in another plane. Dhruva Maharaj had thought that he was going alone to Vaikuntha Loka, leaving behind his mother, which was not very auspicious, because people would criticize him for going alone to Vaikuntha Loka and not carrying with him Suniti, who had given him so much. But Dhruva also considered that he was not personally the Supreme. Therefore, if Krishna fulfills his desire, only then would it be possible. Krishna could immediately understand his mind, and he told Dhruva Maharaj, Krishna could immediately understand his mind, and he told Dhruva Maharaj that his mother was also going with him. This incident proves that a pure devotee like Dhruva Maharaj can fulfill all his desires by the grace of the Lord. He becomes exactly like the Lord, and thus, whenever he thinks of anything, his wish is immediately fulfilled. So, Sacha svarlokam aroksyan sunitim jananim dhruvah anvasmarad agam hitva dinam yasye tri-vistapam. Dhruva Maharaja was seated in the transcendental airplane, which was just about to start. When he remembered his poor mother, Suniti, he thought to himself, how shall I go alone to the Vaikuntha planet and leave behind my poor mother? So, in the last verse, we found out how Dhruva Maharaj was approached by death. Death approaches devotees also. But the encounter of death with a devotee is different. Normal people, when they die, what happens? Jamadutas come and take them to Jamalaya. But a pure devotee, because he has already become situated in his spiritual identity, the death to him is a change of body. Simply a change of body. Because his consciousness is in the soul, his consciousness, even after death, carries on, continuing. Spiritual life means becoming Krishna conscious. And when one becomes Krishna conscious, he becomes self-conscious also. That means conscious of his spirit soul, spiritual identity. Then his consciousness doesn't dwell in his body. Then his consciousness is in his spiritual identity, spirit soul, spiritual body. And then he sees how the body is leaving the gross body. Gross body to him just like a dress. As Krishna mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, Jirnani vasamsi jatha vihaya. As one leaves his old garments to put on a new one, similarly, a pure devotee sees that his change of body is like changing a dress. It's just changing a dress. When you change a dress, our consciousness goes with the dress. But when the consciousness is in the body, then when the change of the body takes place, the consciousness goes with the body, subtle body. Gross body is left. And that leaving also is very painful. Because his consciousness is in the gross body, to withdraw the consciousness becomes very, very difficult for him. That's why Jamadutas come to help him. Jamadutas actually assist him to leave the body. He doesn't want to leave the body, he wants to hold on to the body. But Jamadutas pull him out. And when he resists, Jamadutas have the whip. Whack. And in this way, Jamadutas help him leave the body. But for a devotee, what happens? He's already practicing to leave his body. Devotee means to know, I am not this body. At least theoretically he knows that he is not his body. So when he knows that he is not his body, and he is cultivating the process, I am not this body. This happened to the, he gets hurt. Oh, it happened to the body. He gets fever. It happened to the body, not to me. And in this way he separates himself from his body. So Krishna consciousness is actually a process of separating the soul from the body. Sadhana bhakti stage is actually the practicing the stage of practicing the process of separating from the body. And how does he do that? He does that by being attached to Krishna. So Krishna consciousness, it's not, the soul can become conscious of Krishna. Soul can become conscious of two things. Soul can either become conscious of the body or the soul can become conscious of Krishna. So when the soul becomes Krishna conscious, then he becomes separated from his body. That is called Swarup Siddhi. Swarup Siddhi, spiritual perfection of his spiritual identity. So that means his soul has already been separated from his body. But he is dwelling in the body because the body is a gift of nature. The body has a duration. Live for 100 years or sometimes somebody may live also for 140, 150 years. Brahma lives for... So this is the duration of the body. Brahma's body has an inconceivably long period of time. Inconceivable longevity. But human body is 100 years. Brahma's body also lives for 100 years according to his calculation. Our body lives for 100 years according to our calculation. A mosquito's body also lives for 100 years according to mosquito's calculation. So in this way, everybody has his lifespan, 100 years. Everyone thinks 100 years. Childhood, youth, old age, departure, death. So this is how the life is. Everybody's life has these phases. Childhood, youth, old age. First 25 years, second 25 years, third 25 years. How many years got? And last 25 years, 100 years. But not many people make it. Most of the people don't make it up to 100 years. Generally people live for 60, 70 years. Nowadays lifespan is being increased due to the medical science. But what's the use? If the dress is old, why continue to put on that old dress? This is a poor mentality. Poor people's mentality. The dress has become old, but he can't afford to buy a new one. He keeps on wearing the old dress. The boss is telling him that look, take up and Even when somebody comes with a new dress, tells him, put on the new dress, he says, no, I'm fine with it. Because he's a poor man. But a rich man knows in his wardrobe he has so many fancy dresses, beautiful dresses. And he will put it on according to the occasion. When he goes to bed, he puts on one dress. Sleeping suit. When he gets up in the morning, he puts on another dress, dressing gown. When he goes to office, he puts on another dress. When he goes to club, he puts on another dress. When he goes to a party, he puts on another dress. So according to the occasion, he changes his dress. Similarly, a living entity changes his dress according to the occasion. When he has to go to the heavenly planets, he puts on one dress. When he has to go to hellish planet, puts on another dress. When he goes to earth planet, he puts on another dress. But he knows that he is a servant of Krishna. So wherever he goes, whatever dress he puts on, he simply uses it for Krishna's service. Whether it's higher planet or lower planet. And then, when the time comes, Krishna says, okay, now you come back to me. So then Krishna sends his vehicle and he... So the change of dress, that means death, takes place. Death comes to him. But what did he do? Dhruva Maharaj put his foot on death's head to climb onto the chariot. Maybe the chariot was a little too high, so he needed a step. So he used death as the step to climb onto the chariot. So that is Krishna consciousness. A way to conquer death. It's not something frightening for him. For a devotee, death is not at all frightening. It's a change of dress. Because he has been engaged in service of Krishna, he knows that Krishna will give him another appointment. Now that Krishna is asking him to retire from or change from this location, Krishna must be engaging him in another location. Wherever I am, I'm fine. That's the attitude of a devotee. Wherever I am, I'll be serving Krishna and Krishna will take care of me. Therefore, Krishna consciousness, as I gave a seminar once, the art of dying. It's only the preliminary stage of Krishna consciousness, the art of dying. But Krishna, what is beyond death? The way of immortality. The art of dying, the way to immortality. Beyond death, what is there? Beyond death is spiritual existence, and there is no death. Jadgatvana nivartante. Na jayate mriyate va kadachin. He is never born and he will never die. The soul is never born, the soul will never die. So Krishna consciousness is the science to understand this fact. So Dhruva Maharaj now is situated on the transcendental airplane. And it's described that it's as big as a house. This aeroplane was as big as a house. So that means such comfortable situation. And then when he was about to take off, he remembered his mother. And he felt that how can he live without her? Because she is the one who led him to Krishna consciousness. Bhatma Pradarshak Guru. Prabhupada mentioned Path Pradarshak Guru. It's same. Bhatma means path. Path means path. So one, Pradarshak means one who indicated the path. The spiritual master who indicated this path of Krishna consciousness. So his mother is the one who actually told him about Krishna, Hari, and led him to surrender to him and become engaged in his devotional service. Then, of course, he met Narad Muni and received initiation from him. Initiation means he received mantra from him, from Narad Muni. So, Dhruva Maharaja, Prabhupada is pointing out, he was not concerned about Narad Muni, because Narad Muni is already a liberated soul. But he thought of his poor mother. Oh, my mother may not have been so advanced, so I need to take her with me. But then what he was told, Prabhupada is saying in the purport that Krishna told him. Krishna told him, don't worry, your mother is already ahead of you. Because she is your mother, she will receive the benefit. She has already received the benefit of making spiritual advancement. So when your father or mother prevent you from joining ISKCON, you can give this example. Look, what a benefit you're getting if I become a devotee. You'll have a free access to Vaikuntha. Just because you have given me this body, I'm grateful to you. And if I make spiritual advancement, I'll make sure that you also derive the benefit. Or Krishna will make sure that she will derive the benefit. I may not be able to help you, but Krishna will help you because you are my father, you are my mother. Because it is because of you that I got this body. And it is due to this body that I can practice Krishna consciousness. So that is why the best way to help the parents is by becoming a pure devotee of Krishna. What to speak of the parents? By becoming pure devotees of Krishna, we can benefit the whole world. Darshane povitra karo ei tomar gun. A Vaishnava, a pure devotee, just by darshan, he purifies others. So that is how wonderful Krishna consciousness is. So this is also another very wonderful indication that how devotees naturally become very grateful, very grateful in their attitude that my mother, how can I leave her behind? She is my mother. She helps. And anybody who helps, actually a devotee develops the qualities of Krishna. So Krishna is grateful. Krishna is extremely grateful. So if anybody does anything for Krishna, Krishna gives him. Krishna remembers that and benefits him, gives them the result, reward. So devotees also develop this attitude, just like Krishna. Krishna is grateful, Krishna's devotees are grateful. More he advances, he becomes more and more grateful. So this is how Krishna consciousness is the path of perfection in all respects. It's the perfect path. In every respect, it is going to benefit us. It is going to improve us towards ultimate spiritual perfection. Jai Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Srila Dhruva Maharaj ki Jai. Gaur Premanande. Does anybody have any question?
You mentioned the poor man's mentality is that he is attached to his body, doesn't want to leave it. Now, what does it mean to become rich?
Very good. Poor man's mentality means, what is a poor man? He thinks this is the only thing I have. And that's the thing. A poor man has only whatever little he has, right? He doesn't have access to go and buy something because he doesn't have the means. So whatever he has, he clings on to that. So similarly, materialistic people, they just cling on to whatever little material possessions they have. But that material possession is meaningless. It is without any value. Doesn't have any price. It's only temporary. Right? That's the only thing that they hold on to. But when one becomes situated in spiritual identity, then he gets to know that I have the entire spiritual world. I am Krishna's. I am Krishna's servant. I am Krishna's son. So does the servant of a rich man feel any scarcity? Huh? Therefore, the way to overcome this poverty-stricken mentality is to become a servant of Krishna, become related to Krishna. And then you can see that how wealthy Krishna is, and you feel, I am. I don't have to worry about anything. He'll take care.
There are several questions can I ask.
Start off with one.
As you know that there are four states of consciousness like dreaming state and wakefulness state and present unconscious deep sleep and fully bloom Krishna consciousness of Jagruto, Shushupti and Turiyo. So like those are pure spirits so already they are situated on the stage of Turiyo. So the conditions are like us, most we can keep our consciousness pure. Like in your state, not in dreaming state, not in unconscious deep sleep. So those are pure devotee of the Lord. Do they never come under forgetfulness in any of these three states, or their consciousness never negative?
Yeah, good. It will depend upon to what extent he is related to his gross body and subtle body. Wakeful state means in the state of gross body. Right? Dream state means in the state of subtle body. When both this gross body and subtle body are inactive, his consciousness is not in the gross body, consciousness is not in subtle body, that's the Shushupti. And when he wakes up in his spiritual identity, then he is in Turiya state. Right? So when he is in Turiya state, you see, as long as he has a material body, some influence of the material body will be there. But for a pure devotee, even he doesn't become affected by that material body. Like he sleeps, but in that sleep, he is in his pure spiritual consciousness. So anyway, the answer will be, for a pure devotee, he is always in Turiya state. He is not affected by his gross body or subtle. But to begin with, he doesn't have a subtle body. A pure devotee doesn't have a subtle body. His subtle body has become his spiritual body.
Like when someone is seriously injured, like someone did accident, and when they are put in coma, so means who wakes them down? Means who wakes them up in the stage of like in coma?
Who wakes them up? Coma means not in the body consciousness. But he can be in his subtle body consciousness. Like in a dream. When one is in a dream, does the gross body, although the gross body is inactive, but is he inactive? He is active in his dream. So in a coma, one may be in a kind of a dream-like state. In his subtle body may be awake, but the gross body is not functioning. Okay. Another question, last one.
Like,
For the time being.
like, you know that the spirit soul is existing in the past, and also spirit soul is existing in the present, and will be existing in the future. So, like those who have transcended this material platform, they have they have raised the time of eternity. So, and also the spirit soul has come through this 84 species. Can they have this kind of vision that they can see past, present, and future also?
Devotee doesn't, you see, devotee's consciousness is Krishna conscious. Right? He is simply conscious about Krishna. He doesn't care about whatever Krishna wants him to remember, he remembers that, and he is happy with that. Krishna may make him remember his past lives, Krishna may not make him remember his past life. He is not worried about that. See, the consciousness can either be in the material side or in spiritual side. When the consciousness is Krishna conscious, it's on the spirit. Krishna conscious means what? Conscious of Krishna. Is there any room for me? That is a pure devotee. His identity is there, but he is conscious only of Krishna. That is what Krishna wants him to do. He is just doing that. He doesn't have any separate idea of I'll do this, I'll do that. No. Whatever Krishna is telling me to do, I'll do that. And he sees how Krishna is using him. Like does a puppet have its own consciousness? No. Similarly, a devotee becomes a puppet in the hand of Krishna, and he, as Prabhupada is saying, nachao, nachao, Prabhu, nachao, Jivati. Make me dance the way you want me to dance. Okay. Ankit Vora from USA. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. In this and next verse, it is explained how a strong and sincere disciple like Dhruva Maharaj can take his spiritual master to Vaikuntha Loka or even deliver him. Please enlighten how is this even possible, or is this a figurative way to explain the humble nature of a spiritual master towards his dear and sincere disciple? Yeah. Prabhupada mentioned about that. That is, just in case the spiritual master didn't make it back to Godhead and his disciple became pure devotee, he will be elevated to the... So actually, a spirit, nobody thinks that he is going to make it back to Godhead. A devotee doesn't think that, well, I am a pure devotee. Rather, it works the other way around. The more he makes advancement, the more he feels disqualified. And when he was not at all advanced, he thinks that he is the most qualified. So this is how the spiritual life works. Only the least advanced thinks that he is most qualified, and most advanced one thinks that he is least qualified. This is how spiritual... And the spiritual master may think that, well, and he genuinely feels that and because he is Krishna conscious, he lives there to Krishna. Maro bhi rakho bhi jo ichha tohara. That is the mood of a pure devotee. Whatever you want, Krishna, that will be. If you want to keep me, or you want to kill me, fine. Janmao bhi moi ichha jodi tor. If you want me to take birth, fine. Bhakato grihe jani janma homo. Let me at least be born in the house of a devotee. So in this mood, the devotee may, may think that, well, even if I cannot make it back to Godhead, but if one of my disciples become pure devotee, then probably Krishna will bestow his mercy upon me. Next question is from Girish, Gurgaon. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam. Being foolish, I know that I am a soul and not a body, but the whole day my actions are those who considers myself as a body and not a soul. How can I change this consciousness and act accordingly and remember Krishna 24 hours a day? Your eternal servant, Girish, Gurgaon. Thank you, Girish. Very nice question. Yeah, it's a sincere question. We do think, or we know theoretically, that we are not this body, we are a spirit soul, but our actions are in relation to the body. So that is our natural state. Like, we are in a material nature, we got this body, therefore this body consciousness is there naturally. The yogis, they try to separate the soul from the body by the process of yoga, Ashtanga yoga. They can do that, but it's a very difficult process. Very difficult process. They separate, by the means of Ashtanga yoga, they separate the soul from the body and guide the soul to the spiritual destination. Therefore, it's only very few could achieve perfection in the process of Ashtanga yoga. But for devotees, there is a very simple process. Just become connected to Krishna. Just think of Krishna. Become a servant of Krishna. Like it's something like, like a yogi's situation is like trying to cross the Atlantic Ocean swimming. Some good swimmer can do that. Some exceptional swimmer can do that. But it's not, otherwise it's not possible. And a devotee situation is get into a ship that is going across Atlantic. Or not even a ship, an aeroplane that will fly over Atlantic. Not even touching it. So, now how do we get into that boat? How do you get into that aeroplane? We don't get into that aeroplane with our body. We get into that aeroplane with our consciousness. With the consciousness we get into that situation. So that is, don't think of your body, think of Krishna. And the way to do it is, your consciousness is in the body, so engage the body in service of Krishna. Engage the body in the service of Krishna. Your consciousness is in your mind, engage the mind in the service of Krishna. And that is what devotional service is. Manmana bhavo, mad bhakto, jat karosi, jadasnasi, jat juhasi. Manmana bhavo, with this process, you engage your subtle body in the service of Krishna. And jat karosi, jadasnasi, jat juhasi, dadasi jat, by that you engage your gross body in the service of Krishna. So in this way, yes, we are in material consciousness. We are in the body consciousness. We can't deny that. But engage the body in the service of Krishna. Engage the mind in the service of Krishna. This is how you will fix your consciousness into Krishna. And that is the process of Krishna consciousness. Thank you, Girish. Hare Krishna. There is a question without any name. Dandavat Pranam Guru Maharaj. Why did Dhruva Maharaj was not concerned about his father? Anand from Indore base. Dhruva Maharaj did not think of his father because his father did not help him as his spiritual guide. He was obliged to his mother, but Krishna will benefit, Krishna will reward his father also. Dhruva Maharaj thought of his mother because he derived the spiritual benefit from his mother. His mother was his Atma Pradarshak Guru, who gave him the indication of this process. But being Dhruva Maharaj's father, he also made it. Devanjan Krishna Das from Kolkata, Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam. If we do devotional service, does parents also get any result of that devotional service performed by their children? Like I heard, if husband performs devotional service, then wife also get the result of that devotional service. Can you please explain on this, Guru Maharaj? Or, okay, your humble servant, Devanjan Krishna. Yeah. So, as I just mentioned, that when a devotee renders devotional service, the parents get the benefit. Because the parents, it is through the parents that one got his body. And this body has been engaged in the service of Krishna. Therefore, Krishna feels obliged to the parents also. But with the wife will get the benefit only if the husband is advanced and she is attached to him. Not if she is separated. From a pure devotee husband, if one becomes separated, no, she won't get any benefit. Like, it will depend upon her attachment to the husband. And if the husband is a pure devotee, husband is a devotee, then the wife will get the benefit. Aditi from Los Angeles. How important is to eat prasad to increase our spiritual activity? What if we have to eat food made by non-devotee, but they offer it to Krishna? Will Krishna accept it? Yes, Krishna is bhavagrahi. Krishna is bhavagrahi. Krishna takes your love, Krishna takes your mood. So, when you offer it to Krishna with love, like you know that incident, Vidura, when she came to, Vidura was so absorbed in serving Krishna that he was peeling the bananas and he was offering the skin to Krishna. And Krishna was eating the skin. So these are the some examples. Like Krishna is not, as long as it is offered with devotion, and devotee will make sure that it is properly, it's proper for Krishna's offering to be offered to Krishna. So on your part, you offer whatever you are taking, as long as it is patram pushpam phalam toyam, then jome bhakta prajachati. If you offer it with devotion, Krishna is giving the assurance. Tadaham bhakti uparitam ashnami prajatatmana. So make sure, but at the same time, if it's sometimes what I mean is like nowadays it has become very difficult, like especially for working people, not to have food cooked by non-devotees, especially in the West. Even in India, like those who are working, unless they're carrying, and I have noticed, like sometimes people ask me, Maharaj, when I have to go to some place on business, what do I do? They try to maintain the purity of food as much as possible, but sometimes they have to take something that has vegetarian food, like they're staying in a hotel, they offer their request, to make some steamed vegetable and some soup and things. Made by karmis, offer it to Krishna, what can be done, and take it. Yes.
Here, in this description here, in these verses, we see how Dhruva Maharaja is going back to Godhead even before his forefathers like Uttanapada, Swayambhu, Brahma. So, we see that in ISKCON also devotees, sincere devotees, they go back to Godhead. But after so many thousands of millions of devotees are going back to Godhead, but looks like poor Brahma is still there for another 50 years of his life. So is it like a kind of, and
that's the situation of a devotee. He's not interested in going back to Godhead. He's interested in service. That is a devotee. Like, when you have service here, are you happy? So why unnecessarily desire to go back to Godhead? When you go back to Godhead, what will you do? What will you do there? Render devotional service. So can you render devotional service here? So what's the difference between here and there?
Guru Maharaj, when the person dies, does any conversion take place between the Yamduta or then is he Yamduta?
It depends how sinful or how pious he is. If he is sinful, he will see the Jamadutas. If he is pious, then he will see Devadutas. But if he is a devotee, he will see Vishnudutas. Jang jang bapi smaran bhavam tajat tante kalevaram. This one question from internet. This is from Prema Manjari Dasi from Mumbai. Hare Krishna Maharaj, I want to know whether accepting a Shiksha Guru is as important as accepting Diksha Guru. Does one formally address a devotee to be his Shiksha Guru just as we formally take Diksha? Can we accept someone as Shiksha Guru without having told that devotee the same? Yeah. You see, it's all a matter of relationship. How one feels, how grateful, how obliged, how one feels, how much benefit one is deriving. That is the main consideration. It's not a formality. Diksha is a formality, but Shiksha is not a formality. Shiksha is a matter of heart. You get the Shiksha and you remain grateful. You get spiritual benefit and you remain grateful. So that is Shiksha Guru. So there is no need for any formal introduction or formal process of accepting a Shiksha Guru as such. Yes.
I had two questions. So, first is this: sometimes we see that the devotee who shows us the path, like Vatmapradasa Guru, sometimes later on he faces difficulty and he loses his interest in Krishna consciousness. So, although we help him by becoming ourselves pure devotee, but some practical steps also which we can apply to help him in his life, his spiritual life.
Sure.
Which practical steps we can apply? Which practical steps we can apply to help?
Catch him by his sikha and pull him back. If he doesn't have a sikha, then catch him by his leg and pull him into his sikha. Okay?
And second question is, sometimes we see that some spiritual instructions touches our heart very deeply, and some instructions we are not able to follow. So, we see that there is some specific mood also required for receiving instruction. So, which is that specific mood and how to develop that mood always?
Well, it will depend, according to the importance of those instructions. Like the spiritual master may say, get me a glass of water. and the spiritual master may say, you translate my books into Bengali. There are, Prabhupada sometimes told me to get a glass of water, and Prabhupada also told me to translate his books into Bengali. So, it's not that all my life I have to bring water to Srila Prabhupada. But Prabhupada's instruction to translate his books into Bengali was the principal instruction which I took to my heart. Yes?
Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport that Krishna fulfills all the desires of a pure devotee. As soon as he desires it, it is immediately fulfilled. But then the devotee says that Maharaja Rakho Vichar. Whose desire actually precedes, or whose desire takes the precedence? Krishna's or the devotee's?
Devotee desires in relation to Krishna, and Krishna fulfills those desires. But if those desires are not in fitting to Krishna's desire, Krishna chastises him. Like Sanatana Goswami wanted to give up his body under the wheels of the chariot, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chastised him. I think it's your body that you are planning to destroy. Okay.
Very often I feel that if I had a better body, that I could do much more service and much better service. So, like this kind of feeling.
Leave it up to Krishna. Now that you have this body, use it for serving him. What is the guarantee that you'll get a better body? Right? What if you get a body which is even worse than this one? Right? So therefore, just use whatever you have. Just use it in Krishna's service. There is no need to think, but take care of the body. Take care of the body. And then leave it up to Krishna. And if you feel that there is some shortcoming, then just pray to Krishna. Bhargav from Melbourne. Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranams. One of my friends asked me, the people in Satyuga, Treta Yuga, are they aware of Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead? Actually, recognizing Krishna of Vrindavan as the son of Nanda Maharaj, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is a very special prerogative of the age of Kali, by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In Satyuga and Treta Yuga, they have awareness of Vaikuntha but not awareness of Vrindavan. There, according to them, they even if they know Krishna, according to their understanding, Krishna is an incarnation of Vishnu. Not that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I'm talking about people in general. Some people have the awareness, like for example, Brahma knew, Narad knew that Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. But generally people of that age were not aware of Krishna's identity. Their identity is Narayan in Vaikuntha. The Supreme is Narayan in Vaikuntha. And all are his all the present incarnations are his manifestation. All the incarnations present in the planet are his expansion. That is their understanding. Yes.
Here you can see that in 31st sloka, they're describing that.
Today what we are doing? 32. Why are you going to 35?
31st.
Or 31st. Okay.
31st, they're describing that the demigods are celebrating Dhruva Maharaja going back home back to Godhead. But in Dhruva Maharaja's return home, they're actually describing 32 sloka that the demigods are envious to Dhruva Maharaj to be situated in Vaikuntha planet by his devotional service. So what is the difference between this?
That is another kind of envy. That is the kind of envy that is, oh, look, how much he achieved. And how poor we are just stuck here. Okay, last question.
If your devotee is completely dependent on Krishna, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Srila Bhaktivedanta mentioned, even if your devotee passes school and urine,
Passes?
school and urine,
Yeah.
for the satisfaction of Krishna, can you kindly
What's that?
for the satisfaction of Krishna?
That the body is cleansed and now the body can be better engaged in Krishna's service. Okay? Because these are the impurities of the body. And when the impurities are in the body, it's also affecting the activities of the body. So clean it out, just like a devotee is taking bath, to keep the body active and clean. So he also passes stool and urine to keep the body clean. Okay? This is internal cleanliness. Thank you. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande.